over stretching my child.
So if he's not a good example, then I know that I'd have difficulty facing the rest of you.
Okay. How do you exactly deal? Like, okay, in the sense.
Hi, Schnuckunses.
I'm not ready that.
James, that's also for every people, so let's just cooperate. Hi, Schnuckunses. Hi, Radiant Nation. Hi, Starfire Nation. Hi, James.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yes.
Hello, Terry.
I'm here with James.
And today I'm going to be asking my mom questions on how she raised my older brother, who is a soon-to-be adult. So, test
James, I'm more
question.
excited than you are. Are you happy to be an
I
adult?
can't just. I'm happy.
Let's go.
Okay, test question. How was pregnancy for James like, Mama?
Easy. I was just begin.
Son, they asked me, not you. Let me speak. Pregnancy with James. Funny enough, it was easy with James. And then I think the reason why I didn't feel so much like labor pain was because I remember when I was very heavy and I was just taking a stroll down the street and I met one very old woman and she just called me and said, my daughter, I've never met her before. She was like, my daughter, how are you? I said, I'm fine. She said, let me give you like a tip of how labor pain is. That when you go to the hospital and you're feeling pain, don't even cry because that's not the pain. There's another bigger pain that is coming. So when that bigger one comes, that's when you know that there's a pain. So if you're feeling it, that's not the pain. So she gave me that ideology. Yes, that's because she didn't want me to be scared. She actually asked if this was my first pregnancy. I said yes. So when I went to the hospital, I was feeling that pain, but I was waiting for a bigger pain. And it was that small pain that I was feeling that was actually the labor pain. And I had James without, stress and yeah.
You're not serious, James.
So Sapphire almost killed me.
Wow. Okay. Okay, next question. What are your earliest memories of raising him and how did those shape your parenting style?
Okay, so when James was a baby, right? James was a handful in a good way. James was a lively child. Everybody loved James. He loves food as well. And then James had bow leg while he was growing up. But for some reason, I think, in fact, if they tell me that James would be this tall, I'm like, no, it's a lie. How would James be this tall? So James had bow leg. And James, you can't hold James like this. He's leaving your hand like every second. He was so lively. He was everywhere. He was such a fun child, yeah. So he made parenting as a baby for me a fun one. Not stressful because he wasn't a cry baby. So he was everybody's baby. So it wasn't stressful for me. What do you want to say?
No, nothing else. Exactly.
James, how did you know? Are you the one that is it not me that asking the question?
Sorry, not bad. But see.
Are you the one that raised yourself? I raised you. Let's go.
Okay, next question. Can you share a specific moment that defined your relationship during his childhood?
No, say that again, Sapphire. Please ask again.
Can you share a specific moment that defined your relationship during his childhood?
Okay, during his childhood, I think the childhood is the bone of contention because I was going to say teenagehood. Childhood, my God. Whenever I go out with James, if I just, for example, maybe we're taking a taxi somewhere, once I get into the taxi and James enters, the lady will say, good afternoon, sir. My name is James Eken. This is my mom. My mom is Gloria Eken. My daddy's name is this. He works in this place. We have this in our house. We have Jesus, James. Nobody asked you, but one thing is I never shut my children up. I never did because I felt like shutting them up would make them go into a shell. What I did was to just curb, how they talk in public to their level of understanding. Just curb it, but don't shut them up. Yeah, so I will just tell the driver, don't mind my son. is such a handful and he loves to like relate with people. And up till now, James is like that. James can go into a place and you think he's been there for 10 years, you know. So imagine if I shut James up and he went, you know, into a shell and all that. So James, I demand a thank you for that, James. Say it well, James.
Thank you, Mama.
Say it like passionately. And hug me, James. You're welcome, my son. That's it.
Yeah, I like myself because it's very transparent. And quick story, the taxi story. I can't remember. My mom said that there was a time I was in school and there were biscuits to pick me up.
Oh, I didn't say that part.
So I went out
Sapphire.
and I got the taxi.
James, the school, I was mad at the school.
I left the
We were supposed to pick James on time, but my husband and I went somewhere. We couldn't pick him on time. James was like, he's late. James came out of the school. I don't know how he did it. He stopped a taxi. James, you were 4. Abi, how old?
Yeah, I was around 4.
4. James stopped a taxi and said, "Number 5, Bobo Street, my Tama." And the guy brought James home. We were not even home yet, so the security man had to call us. Like, somebody brought your son from school. We're heading to his school. We're like, who? He said a taxi driver. Jesus, we drove home. We saw James so happy. I came home. I didn't know whether to beat James. I didn't know what to do. My husband just said, "Hey, just thank God. Just thank God," because the driver actually brought James home. What if the driver had gone to another place? It would have been a different ballgame altogether. So, yeah, that one too. I say James was a handful. If you're holding him here, he's escaping through this place, you know. Yeah, so that one, yeah, I remember.
Okay.
So, how did you handle challenges or conflicts as he grew older?
Hmm. It's life. It's life. James! Growing up, James was so fun to be with, and James, James, when James was younger, they called him Pastor because James was everything in one. Such a lovely child, I know. But teenagehood, my brothers and sisters, teenagehood. Mm. So James went to boarding school, and the experience in boarding school wasn't okay. He had chicken pox in boarding school. He was almost dying. The school didn't reach out to me. It was a day student that came to tell me that, "Please, ma, rush to school. James has chicken pox and nobody's attending to him." I got to school. I saw James in the hospital, looking pale, sick. I took him out of the school, and the school did not know anything about it. And I was like, you know what? I'm done with boarding school, not again. I was like, let me give it a try. I put him in another boarding school, but it wasn't working. And then he came home. And coming home, right? That was the saving grace for me. If James had not come home back from boarding school, I probably would not know James. Why? Because boarding school, you get to come home like for a week and then you go back again, except for those for summer holiday, yeah, August holiday. I was so glad that I made that decision bringing James back from boarding school because I now knew the real James. Like James had, you know, you can't shield your children from having friends. But what kind of friends? James had friends, his new school. I don't know if he was trying to frustrate me or the dad. Like, I don't know what, if he was trying to get back at me for pulling him back from, you know, boarding school. My husband was never in support of boarding school. I was the one in support because I went to a boarding school and I know what it made me like to be today. So I was like, oh, my children must go to boarding school. But after James's experience, I was like, no, boarding school, not like before, so I'm done, you know. So I came back home and then they'll call me to come to school. James wanted to be everybody's helper, general among the nation. That song, you understand? He wanted to help everybody. He has a large heart. James has a large heart. He's a very compassionate child. He wants to carry everybody's problems like on his head, but it's not possible. You can't carry everybody's problem on your head. So James was getting into trouble because he was trying to help this person, and forgetting who he is. You can't give out yourself if you don't know who you are. Like, you have to be whole before you give part of yourself to people. You can't be giving part of yourself like in pieces and you don't even know who you are. So they'll call me in school. I'll say, what again? They will explain. James, the thing was, James trusted his friends more than my husband and I. And it happens. Every teenager will grow up with their own differences, but it's only left for parents to actually know, like, what that child is going through at that point to help the child. So James will trust his friends rather than trust my husband and I. So we had to fight to make James bring that trust back home, because my husband told him one thing, that James, if something happens to you today, you will know that you don't have friends. Your family members are number one. That's why they say family is everything. That thing is not a joke. I kept talking to him, got a counselor involved. I'll talk. Then I have a very good sister, my friend Ejiro. She would talk. You know, James had his mind made. In fact, it got to a point I was wearing James's clothes so that he will see that I want to be his friend. I did everything to win James back. I wear his clothes. James wears size 46, I wear 41. I can't wear his shoes. I was like, if I was wearing 46, I would have worn his shoes, you know. Wear face cap. That's why sometimes you see me with face cap. I'm trying to like relate with my children so that they'll know that I'm not high here and they are here, okay? Because there's time for parenting, there's time for friendship, there's time for boundaries, yes. And my children know that. They know when I'm serious, they know when I'm playing, and they know when I'm, you know. So teenagehood was a very tough one for both of us, because I was trying to understand why James was changing. James was also trying to understand why my mom is getting tough. Why is she getting tough? What's the big deal? Why can't I have friends? While I was saying, James, I'm not saying you can't have friends. You can have friends, but what kind of friends are you keeping? You know, what kind of friends are you keeping? You know, so teenagehood was a tough one for James and I, not just me, both of us. But glory be to God, we were able to scale through. And I have my James back, and he has a better understanding, right?
Yes.
So James, tell them how you dealt with me in your teenagehood.
Okay. I didn't exactly deal, like, okay, in the sense that, yeah, people have always told me that my love runs deep because I'm very transparent. And if I talk to you today, I practically, like, not like claim ownership like in a toxic way. I just mind. Like, we were even talking about yesterday, and I'm the kind of somebody that I can take a beating for you. I can do different things for you because that's how much I love anybody that I'm close with and everything.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of fun experiences, and I learned the hard way because I trust people a lot and easily. But I still trust people now, but I'm no longer as gullible as I was before.
Yeah.
Like, I had a lot of fun. Like in JS1, the first time she gave me provisions, and
Jesus
I
Christ,
basically
Jesus
gave
Christ.
everything out.
I almost cried.
Because
James, you know what you just said something now about learning the hard way.
Yeah.
So my husband would tell me, babe, there are some people are built differently. If some people don't learn the hard way, they will never learn. I don't like learning the hard way. When I see that this is the soft way for me to learn, I learn it and I move on. Why do we want to learn the hard way? He now said people are built differently, and that's what happened to James. James had to learn the hard way, and the hard way is not always easy. But once you learn the hard way, I pray that you don't regret it. James, do you regret anything?
No, I feel like I had to go through some things that I went
But James, did you so, because now I know you have a better understanding. Right now, do you think I was being mean as a mom?
No.
Be sincere. I don't be sincere, really. I like sincerity.
Obviously, every teenager
would think
want
that
their
way, right?
parents to go around another route or something like that. So there were some times that I wish I could have gone other ways and different things, but no.
So give example now. Let me know. Maybe I can explain
I don't know.
myself.
I understand everything. You know, I understand everything that you did. Everybody's still learning. That's why if it comes up, like, that's what I'm still talking about. I'm trying to retrace my steps. So
Yeah.
I ended up dashing my G1. I ended up dashing out my brochures. People that said they didn't
James
have.
was going to boarding
And-
school. I bought him 2 sets of provisions. Like, I went all out for James because I went to boarding school, and when my parents buy me provisions, I used to wish to have Kellogg's, not cornflakes. I used to wish to have like Ovaltine, not Milo. So when James was going to boarding school, I was like, those things that I used to wish to have, then I'll buy them for James. James, I'm buying it for you so that you take care of them. After like 2 weeks, I went to see James for visiting. I just was shocked. All the JS1 students were coming around me. James's mom. I'm like, this is so, what's going on? They said, James, This one said, James gave me his cornflakes. This one, James gave me his milk. This one said, James gave me his sugar. He's such a nice boy. He gave me. I'm like, what? So, James, do you have anything left? Because he just left like 2 weeks ago. So I was like, he has to set of provision. Why am I buying more? And I'm like, James, you did what? He said he gave out everything. James gave out everything. I think, James, I punished you for it, yeah? Yeah, I did. I punished you for 1 month. I didn't go and see James and I didn't buy any provisions.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I did. Me, I will not punish you. It's not possible now. When you do anything, you must receive the punishment so that you learn your lessons, you know. So that was it. And then one major thing that stood out for me in bringing James up as a teenager was I needed my husband to be on the same page with me. So I don't know if it can't be only me. I know that 99% of mothers will shout. I've only seen one woman that has 3 boys and 4 boys, and she said she doesn't shout. I don't know how she did it. I don't know the miracle she used. For me, I'll shout. But I've come to see that shouting does not really help because that child is not hearing you. But because of anger, and you've said that thing over and over again, you get tensed up, right? So when I was going through that phase with James, my husband and I were not on the same page. Why? He was the more of, son, sit down, let's talk. I was the more of, why would you do that? What is wrong with you? Haven't you heard? How many times do you want me to say it? Blah, 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 blah. You know? And I'll tell my husband, I said, see, I understand that both of us cannot be hot. But whenever James offends me, right? And I'm talking to him at that time, I need you to contribute at that time. Not when I'm not there. Don't ever, if you're watching this as a parent, I beg you, both of you, be on the same page. Don't ever, a mother shouldn't scold the child when the dad is not in agreement. The dad must be in agreement with the scolding, even though he doesn't know what has happened, because children are very manipulative. When they come to you and they see that you are the gentle one, they will, when the hot one scolds that one, they will now go, that the thing will not be petting that one. I don't like that and I detest it. I don't, they are running away. I don't like it. If I'm shouting at James, I'm not saying you should shout back, but also like involve yourself in, James, why would you do that? That's so wrong of you. You don't do that, you know. And then later, we know that the child cannot go here or here. If both of us are on the same page, that child will become like corrected, sane at the same time. James, right?
Okay,
Did you understand? Am I lying?
No.
Okay, so I really just tell down the 3 questions.
Okay.
Yeah, just answer one. Yeah.
So daddy, what are your earliest memories of raising James and how did those shape your parenting style? You know, your parenting style is very soft. Come, let's talk.
was
See, you see, these children know you that you're so.
But daddy, daddy gives you a long rope. Daddy gives you a long rope.
I experienced
No.
prime daddy. It's me that should be answering.
James suffered most.
I experienced prime daddy.
Yeah.
You guys have the song.
No.
I have one thing to say.
Okay.
Let daddy answer your question.
Pops can be a song.
Let daddy answer the question.
Wait, daddy answer.
Okay.
You will never.
Like James rightfully said, truly he's the one that got the brunt of it all. All right? I know one thing. If I get it right with James, the rest of you will follow.
Oh.
So unfortunately, James,
James, you suffered.
the truth of the matter is I was the hardest with James, yes. And it became easier as he grew older and the rest of you were coming up. Because as big brother, you guys will be looking up to him. So if he's not a good example, then I know that I'd have difficulty facing the rest of you, the younger ones.
Oh.
So I had to get it right with James. I had to be hard with James. I had to be more intentional
Yeah, true.
with James. I had to
I
be
felt
more
you were
involved.
being mean to James.
You see? You see?
Yeah, I have one story to tell about that.
Okay,
part,
good.
but you just finish.
You see, but as much as possible, I made sure that as it was being hard, being tough love, I was involved.
Yeah.
I spent more time with James.
Growing up, Odi.
Yes.
Yeah.
I spent more time with James and the rest of you.
Yeah.
So because of that,
Daddy used to sing lullabies for you guys.
Yeah, and he used to read us
Birthday
Bible
day.
stories.
Sometimes birthday was pumped up. Oh,
Yeah.
my little.
And do you know the funny thing? If I hadn't asked daddy, it just randomly came to my mind. It's the Holy Spirit that told me that thing. I swear that it's the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit just said, Sapphire, ask your daddy, was there a specific name that you had when you were a baby?
He didn't want to tell
He
you.
didn't want to
Then
tell
you
me.
asked me.
And I asked mommy. Mommy was like, Pompadom. I was like, I love that name so much. I saved my contact as Pompadom on his phone.
Yeah. I remember one time that James did something wrong. You said, you called me and you were like, babe, James just spat into this water. I was like, which water? You said this water. And then you did, if Daddy was to spank, Jesus, his hands would be like this. You will hear, bah! Your spanking was tough then. I didn't understand it. And so James said, no, I didn't spit. And I was like, D, why would he lie? James is only 2. He can't lie. My husband was like, I saw him. I said, no. That was when we never used to agree.
Yeah.
So I never used to agree with that when you guys were growing up with this kind of like discipline. Yeah.
Yes.
But when you guys grew up like as teenagers, Daddy wasn't okay with the way that I was. But right now we're on the same page.
Yeah.
You can't go to him and not come to me. And you can come to me and not go to him.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
that's what happened.
Yeah, so, and I've taught my wife as well. She's singing. She's
Jay,
on
don't
the
call
school.
me your wife. I don't like that. Call me the name you used to call me. Don't start it. Let's go, baby. Go say it.
All right, I've taught Babe.
Yeah.
Aww.
No. The way you saved my name on your phone, I don't like this thing you're doing. Babe is too general.
That's my
Come on.
personal name. It's
No,
on my
say it.
phone, not for everybody.
Okay.
All right, so I've taught her because we're now beginning to see it. Then we had to be hard. Okay, those are the formative years. Those are the years that you're growing up.
Yeah.
Okay, mainly who you are now is because we were tough on you then. But now we don't have to be as tough. We don't
just
have
need to talk.
Yeah, it's now more of a common conversation. Getting you to see reason.
Yeah.
Getting you to understand, and you're the kind of children that, as long as you see reason, you understand, you get it. You know, and it's not as difficult as it used to be. So the hard parts are way behind us.
Yeah.
It
We
was-
skate down.
It was.
They also ask me, they have like particular like stubborn or
Memory.
something.
Stubborn?
Did I steal?
You?
Was I
Ah,
steal?
sweet Jesus.
I think I was more of like curious, and
Yes,
you
you
don't
were.
give me a reason. I feel like curiosity was my main.
Good. So that's why I mentioned that for you, it's reasoning.
Yeah.
Once you understand why,
He likes to learn the hard way. I
Yes.
just said it before you came.
beautiful. So
Yeah.
once you understand why, you're the kind of person that if I just say, James, sit in one place. Why?
Exactly.
It's not
He
all-
will not say why.
Yeah,
but he needs to know why
he needs to
should sit.
understand why.
And me
yes.
as a Nigerian mom, why will I tell you something? Ask me why. I already know what I mean by
So I
it.
knew James growing up, so I would always go out of my way to say, James, sit there. Why? Because if you stand up from here now,
Oh, because he knew
what
James would
happens-
ask why.
I know James. So yes, he grew up with me knowing that about him, and then him being very difficult because sometimes there are times when you just don't want to answer why. It's just look at your wit's end, my friend. Just listen to me and obey. You know, but like I said, it was deliberate. It was intentional. I had to make sure that I was.
And look at James
And
today.
look at him. Yeah, for saying today.
Any other one for daddy?
Okay. Let's get one more really quickly. Oh, sweet Jesus, have
And
mercy.
daddy was the one that was always changing diapers for you guys. Daddy
Aww.
was really helpful. We didn't have a
So
help. It was
cute.
just the both of us.
Just the two.
So yeah, if daddy's changing the diaper, I'm maybe doing the dishes. Sometimes daddy's doing the dishes and cooking. We go to the market together. Yeah, we watch movies together. I was always sleeping. I
Oh
never
my God.
competed. Daddy would say,
I suffered.
we're about to watch a movie. Don't sleep. I'll say, me, I don't like this thing. Don't insult me. Who is sleeping? Immediately the movie starts.
2 minutes is too long.
I think movies are my kryptonite. Like once the television is on, I'm
Yes,
gone. Yeah,
knock on.
I think that's my kryptonite. Sapphire is the AC in the car. Once she feels the AC in the car,
That's all.
she's gone.
Yeah.
I'm like, Sapphire, wake up and look at the signpost on the road. So that's my kryptonite. So daddy was really, really there for you guys as babies. Lullabies, reading Bibles to you guys, praying with you guys.
Question before, but now I need daddy's POV. Daddy, when mom was pregnant for James, how was it?
How was it?
Yeah. Like the
was it
cravings,
easy
were
for
there
me?
any mood
Cravings?
swings? Would she wake you up at 3 a.m. for jollof rice?
Well,
I remember when I wanted to go and
Cornflakes.
ask our neighbor.
yeah.
Daddy almost knelt down. Like they were living here, they were living. I was like, this woman,
Yeah, we
the
just got
jollof
back.
rice she's cooking, please let me go and ask her. Daddy did not
Literally.
understand the rationale behind going to go and ask somebody in the next compound for jollof. Babe, don't do it, please. I beg you. I'm like, It's not me. Like, I'm having cravings. I think I asked them, right?
No, I begged you. I finally told you not to.
Yeah.
But then God, okay, later that day, you finally listened to me. She listened and she didn't go. So later that evening, we started watching a movie, and of course, she fell asleep. But later that evening, the same couple came to our door and knocked. So she was standing there. It was the husband and the wife. They were standing there with three pots.
3 pots.
Yeah.
Pot of stew, a pot of white soup,
Yeah.
and another soup. So she was
Wow.
like, they just received a call.
That they need to travel.
Yeah.
And they can't
immediately.
keep this food in the house. She just made them fresh. So she gave me the 3 pots.
Oh
She
my
gave it to
God.
her, specifically saying that she's not giving it to Mr. Bassi.
Yeah.
Because she knows if she gives it to Mr. Bassi will keep it in the freezer and keep it for her for when she comes back.
That was when Daddy used to teach me how to hear God. Yeah, Daddy taught me how to hear God. Daddy would tell me how to hear the Holy Spirit. So if I say anything, Daddy would be like, babe, God will do it. Just wait and see. And I'm like, please, I beg, which God? And every time I say, he told me, I'm like, does God talk? That time I didn't have the understanding. Do you know that? Just give it like an hour or maybe a few days. That thing will happen. That was what actually drew me closer to God. Like, this God is amazing. You know, Daddy, I'll ask Daddy for something. He'll say, babe, I don't have now, but trust me, God will do it. I'm like, which God? Before you know, it's the way he said it. Somebody will just bring it from nowhere. So that was one of the major things that drew me close to Jesus. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Then for James's name wasn't James.
Yeah.
Remember, we woke up one morning.
No,
James was
name-
2.
James was born Alex.
Yes, he
Wow,
was Alex. Yeah,
Alex.
because we were watching a movie and they felt like Alex. They saw one guy, Alex, in the movie. He was so cute. They just called me, Adrian, let his name be Alex. I'm like, okay,
Wow.
Alex, I beg.
Ewo.
And then James woke up when he was 2.
2 years old.
Woke up one morning and was just playing around the bed and said, God said you should change my name. Daddy and I stopped.
Are
We
you
looked at him.
serious?
Daddy was like, cut me some slacks. If God say we should change your name, he will actually tell us
What
we should
name?
change your name to. And James was like, he said you should change it to James. We were shocked.
No joke, serious.
We didn't like
that's
it
why
was
his name is James.
yes, and we felt like, you know, when there's a conviction, there was nothing to argue because it all came from James and he was 2.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Ah,
I
there's
ran
no
to
need
the
now.
I ran to the health center. I changed his name from, because even the Alex, there was no inspiration behind it. It was just that we're watching a movie and you know, the character of James in the Bible is so strong. So you're looking at a great man,
Hallelujah.
a great man of
He's
God.
giving.
Great man of God. You know, so yeah, that's what happened. Do you have another question for Daddy? Well, that's it.
Yeah, let that be for now.